Jeremy Stallings, and I play Prank Kids.
Cool. Let's see what you got.
Go like this. 3 Fancies, 3 Lampsies, 3 Roxys, and 3 Dropsies. Just standard build. If you don't know what they do, Fancies ditches a Prank Kid card from the grave, and you get a special Prank Kid, except for himself. Lampsy burns your opponent for 5, and you get a special Prank Kid except for himself. Roxy's banish a card from your hand, draw 1, and then special Prank Kid except for himself. And then Dropsy gains you 1,000, and then you get special Prank Kid except for herself.
How many times you win in time?
This tournament,
Yeah.
none.
Oh yeah.
Past tournaments, I say 3 times or so.
Okay.
So, not proud of it, but it happens.
It happens.
The rest of the monsters, that's primarily just hand traps. We got fantastical, yes, luck, and then a little bit of money. But 3 fantastical dragon phantasmes lets me grab my other hand traps, which happen to be Ash, and then my small tech, just from fear of running into a little bit of Salamangreats, which I ran into a lot of today. 2 Ghost Ogres. I don't know if it really worked out the way I wanted it to, but I did a few times activate it, and it did help me out a little bit. Just not against Salamangreats. As far as spells go, we got 3 plays. Searches any Prank Kid. 3 Pandemonium. You fuse your Prank Kids during the main phase of yours or your opponent's turn. It's very helpful if they go to target one of your guys. You can just activate this, bounce them out, special, and then you plus as well, as well as dodging their effects. 2 Prank Kids pranks. Generates a token, and also lets me recur some of my fusions and extra deck monster, Prank Kid extra deck monsters back to my grave, extra deck or deck itself, and just lets me draw a card. It helps a lot when I start running low on resources. Kind of gets me back into it. Standard 3 poly, alternate art. Just lets you fusion anything, and then 2 invocations because I've never seen enough poly. Because Gozen and Rivalry are a thing around here, I play 3 Cosmic Cyclones. I'd much rather lose life points than lose cards out of my hand. So Twin Twister may be able to plus you more from card advantage, but I don't want to lose a card out of my hand.
So why not play MST?
Didn't have any.
Oh, okay.
And I knew I had these somewhere, so I hunted them down. Plus Dropsy.
Yeah, that's also pretty good against Sky Striker. You just manage their cards.
Yeah, and plus like Roar and Rage right now, they have to activate it in response to this, or they lose that card because most people are only playing 1 of.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess accidental genius there, maybe. 3 instant fusion, because you never see enough fusions. There's a small tech I did, you'll see later on in the extra deck, but essentially grabs Rocket, activate Rocket, bring back 2 from your graveyard, and start your combos all over again. 2 Terraforms that help see place, and then my last is Reasoning.
How's that work?
Today, not great. Activated it once, and they called 4, and Roxy was hit.
Oh wow.
So, in theory, it works a lot better, and it's just. I think today it was just bad luck.
You thought about running Monster Gate too?
Not really. I just been kind of like this deck. I keep tweaking it slightly every time, and it seems to be getting better, but it might just be the insanity kicking in. I'm not sure.
Okay. Side or extra?
And as far as my last card, it's just 1 Prank Kids plan. I send it off Fancies, and then if I really need it, I'll just target it with Dodo and just set it during my main phase 2. Just kind of helps if like I'm going against Sky Striker, I just activate it, get rid of everything with the Harpy's Feather Duster. So it kind of helps, but usually I just use it for like the FTK kind of builds where they just want to hit you as much damage as possible, and I just kind of activate that, reduce damage, or negate damage, or completely null damage at all. As far as extra deck, we're running 2 Dodo. It searches out your Prank Kid spells and traps. Most of the time I'm guaranteed to see at least 1 or 2 Prank Kid spells in my hand, so it just grabs the other one, helps make sure I don't not have something that I need. As well as just 1 Bow Wow. The best thing about this deck is because of Plan and Rocket Ride, your links aren't as necessary to see, to fill your extra deck, because you can add them back or just special them back and then activate their effects again. So you don't have to fill your extra deck with them, which kind of leaves a little bit of room for extra things. If I was to bump anything up, sometimes I might wish to bump this up, Dodo, but 9 times out of 10, I remember to send it back, and that doesn't ever shoot me in the foot. The MVP, Rocket Ride, I run 2. It's kind of the same deal. Dodo sends you back, and so does Bow Wow. So again, I just kind of skim down the extra deck as much as possible. As far as plussing on your turn, you activate Paulie, send 2, spec 2, activate his effect, spec the other 2 back, and then you can kind of play however you want them. Most of the time, if you go interrupted on your first turn or your second turn, you can either end on Bow Wow and a Totally Awesome, or end on Boral Sword, a Totally Awesome, or a Weather Washer, kind of depending on how you want to go with it. Speaking of Weather Washer, 1 Weather Washer does everything that Rocket Ride does, except during your opponent's turn. So it's really great if you can activate it, pop, or activate its effect, tribute, and then bring back 2 of your links, and then you can activate the Plan, and then go into Roaring Roaster. And essentially, if you're going against Sky Striker or anyone that's back row heavy, you essentially just blow everything up before they even really have a chance to react. Speaking of Roaring Roaster, the last link I play, and one of the bosses, he's great. Harpy Feather Duster, 3,000 attack, and he gets really scary if you have Bow Wow point at him, because then he comes 4,000 and he doesn't care about back row. So just get rid of it. The last boss is Battling Butler. Same stats, except instead of destroying spells and traps in the back row, he will destroy your opponent's monsters. So if you go against a back row heavy deck, you have an answer, and if you go against a monster heavy deck, you have an answer. For when I get locked under Rivalry, I have a fire type. Sometimes Gozen, yes, Jesus. I see them so much, they have grained in my mind, and I do not know which one is which anymore. Essentially, I'll get locked into a Lampseas or a token, and I can use those to go into this and then get rid of the said problem. Small Tech, Link Karibo. I use it just because sometimes I'll end with a Fancies on board if my combo gets negated, and it's just help keep from getting OTK'd the next turn, and maybe survive and get my resources back. Nightmare Unicorn. I didn't use it any today, but in theory it works really well. I just didn't see an opportunity this tournament that I couldn't go another route and still get the same effects. Boral Load and Boral Sword. Against Thunder Dragons, Boral Loads takes, and Boral Sword, I mean, it's just an OTK machine. Plus, if somehow you don't win that turn, you can activate his effect on your opponent's turn. When they go to start trying to maybe attack, you can switch them to defense. It's like a small Bagooska. It doesn't negate effects, but it does kind of keep them from hitting you. And then my last 2 is my Thousand Eyes Restrict and my Totally Awesome. The Thousand Eyes Restrict is when I felt like I've gone through my Rocket Ride and I still had an evenly match in hand, or not evenly match, Instant Fusion in hand. So instead of just letting it sit in hand, I could activate Thousand Eyes Restrict, take Component's monster, equip it to him, and then link away into Link Cerebral. So I just felt like that would help. And then Totally, if you're going first, you can end on 2 dropsies very easily, and just go into Totally. And then it may not be a lot of negates, but sometimes certain decks, when hit with one single negate, can really stop them, if not slow them down at least. It's the extra deck. And as far as my side, I kind of always be prepared to go second, so the go second staple is evenly matched. If they overcommit and they don't have any negates, you just go main phase, battle phase, try to go out and activate, and then they have to choose what cards they really want on the field. For Thunder Dragons or anything that's going to really activate in the graveyard, I had 2 ghost spells. Didn't see it as much as I wanted today, but I mean, in theory, it works fine. Just one of those things. You always want to see a hand draft that you never see. Hatronade, for one, I don't feel like my Cosmic Cyclones are going to be enough. I can activate Hatronade, and then if I'm really going against a spell heavy or trap heavy deck, I may have all 6 spell both Hatronade and Cosmic Cyclone in the deck, just to make sure I get rid of the problem cards I see. 3-red reboot, just in case I need to see it. Not seeing in as many targets as I was, but things like Roar, Rage, in theory, it stops them. You just got to see it. 2, there only can be 1s. Helps again with a little bit Thunder Dragons and a lot with Salamangreat. In theory, Trickstar as well. Just never really saw that too many opportunities to side it in, and then 1 or 2 deck duels when I actually did side it in, it never came up. So maybe take it out, maybe leave it in, I'm not sure. And then just 2 Call by the Graves. For when I feel someone's real heavy on hand traps, I'll just side them in. I see them, I don't. Hopefully I can go through my combos. And that's pretty much it.
Do you have any shout-outs?
More or less just everyone in the area. Just everyone kind of works together, trying to teach each other how to play and just enjoy playing the game in general. So any shout-outs, just be the community itself.
Okay. Any changes you would do to the deck?
Not sure. Pranks are something I really like playing. They have problems, but I don't guess I'm well versed enough to know what the problem is and how to fix it. Just when it works great. If it doesn't work, well, there's always the next game.
Okay.